Hey, what's up, guys? I just wanted to make a little boxing update video about my thoughts about some current things I've been reading about. So I heard, I saw that that they're trying to put together that Abner Nonito Donaire fight. If they can get that one together, I mean, I doubt it because it's going to have to be a top rank Golden Boy combination production, or I think Bob Arum said he's willing to do it if Golden Boy lets him promote the fight entirely on his own. So anyhow, I think that if that fight happens, I know Mares gets a little dirty inside the ring, and I think that that the guy, I can never remember anybody's name, but the guy that fought Nonito Donaire and got under his skin about when the opponent's wife made some comments about Nonito's wife on Twitter or something to that extent. And I remember seeing in the HBO videos leading up to the fight how Nonito was saying things like, I don't even care if I win or not, I just want to hurt this guy. And God, I can't remember the guy's name. I didn't look it up before I made the video, but anyhow, I remember in that fight that Nonito, there were a few times where it could have cost him. He probably could have taken care of that guy after 5, 6, 7 rounds, but because he was so consumed with trying to hurt him and he let his emotions get the better of him, he won the fight, but in nowhere near the same fashion that Nonito normally wins. And I think that this fight was one that Nonito could have won like he always does, but I think he let his emotions get the best of him. And I think that in the fight with Abner Mares, you can count on that Abner Mares trying to use that angle, take that angle with him, especially because of what has already happened, that we've seen the way Nonito reacted. So that'll be interesting. The best case scenario will be one where Nonito does not let his emotions get to him, because to Mares' credit, he's just like he just doesn't give a fuck, that guy. He'll just go in there and do what he does. But I did see a change in Nonito from his normal the normal way he fights a fight, if you can even say that, because I know every opponent is different. But anyhow, you know what I'm talking about. He was sort of out of character. And anyhow, I wanted to talk also about this upcoming Zab Judah Danny Garcia fight. I looked up the over-under for the fight, and it's 10.5 rounds. And the way the odds are paying, it's definitely, they believe it's going to go under. Under is the favored side. And I don't know, I just think that Danny Garcia, besides, I know as a result of the last 2 fights, with Amir Khan and then Eric Morales, they've ended in knockout fashion, stoppage fashion, but that's typically not Danny Garcia's style. From what I've read about him and the little bit I've seen online, he's like a slow starter. Those guys brought the fight to him, and as a result, he ended up getting the knockout, but that's not the normal way he goes about fighting. And Zab Judah now, he's not going to take it to him. He's probably going to fight the same way that he fought that one tall guy, African guy that he knocked out like later in the fight, 8th, 9th, 10th round, where he's just going to lie in wait and he's going to try to land a big counter. So you're going to have 2 guys in there that are sort of slow starters, counter punchers, not really interested in being too aggressive too early. I actually think it's going to make for somewhat of a dull, boring fight until one of them decides to get it on with the other, and then probably something very shortly thereafter will happen where the fight will end either Even then, because you've got to be the only reason Danny Garcia got the knockout with Khan was because Khan just kept the pressure on him, and that's Morales' style as well. He doesn't know how to do anything. Well, I'm not going to say that, but that's I just think that's they're going to stay away from each other and then if Garcia takes it to him, I guess Zab is capable of landing one in the sweet spot, but I think Garcia's too young, too strong, too hungry. Zab is too old. He doesn't have it in him to beat this kid. I mean, he could get lucky, but I don't think that, and so I would venture to say the over might be something to look at, because I know it's late, 10.5, halfway through the 10th round, but it's possible that this fight could be a dud. And I think if it does say it does go the distance, I think Garcia will win on points, on volume. I think he'll start to throw more punches than Zab. I just don't think Zab has it in him anymore to throw a lot of volume. But I'm looking forward to it. Should be a decent fight. Once one of them decides to engage, it'll get interesting. But I know neither of them wants to lose. Zab doesn't want to lose, and Garcia sure doesn't want to lose. So we'll see what happens. And I'm sad to hear about Pavlik. I guess he feels like he kind of got screwed out of this fight with Ward. Ward had the surgery, but then I don't know. I guess they didn't reschedule the fight, and even though I think that would have not been too different than, say, Ward versus Froch, I think it probably would have been similar outcome. I think Ward is too much of a technician for Pavlik. Pavlik's strong. He's got power. He's got super heart. But Ward has a lot of heart, and he's definitely technically proficient and fast, and can deliver the high volume right now. So I'm pretty sure Ward would have won that fight, but it would have been nice to watch. And who knows, maybe in the future we'll still see it. But sorry to hear that he retired. Something just doesn't seem right about that situation, because he did those comeback fights. He was he was training out on the West Coast away from his family and such, and I just think that something happened that really turned him off, and he just decided to make that announcement. I mean, it was interesting to be reminded the fact that he's only 30, but he's been through some wars, and he's put his body through some punishment due to his style, and outside of the ring as well, with the alcohol and some of the drugs. I don't know if it was drugs, but I know he self-admitted to being an alcoholic, and I think he went to rehab for it. So anyways, though, I've always liked him, and hopefully we'll see him back someday.